During the course of managing your data, you sometimes want to perform the same action on more than one variable. When this is the case, using an array can really improve the efficiency of your coding. One way to think of an array is as a new variable that represents a list of elements which are usually other SAS variables. For example, your dataset may contain the variables dog, cat, fish, and bird. Instead of referring to each of these variables specifically by name, you may want to group them all together and refer to them collectively with the array name pets. A logical next question is, why would I ever want to do that? Do you remember this code from a previous homework assignment? Notice that all 5 of the conditional processing statements shown here are identical, except for the variable names. This makes a perfect example of how you can use an array to improve the efficiency of your coding. In this demonstration, you'll observe how an array improves the efficiency of the previous SAS code. Here, we use an array and a do loop to demonstrate a more efficient way of coding this operation. As you can see, it worked. All the negative 99s have been converted to periods, but let's delve a little deeper into how this program worked. Let's start by walking through the general form of an array. So you start with the keyword array. Then you give the array a name. In our applied example, the name we chose was misvars. Dimension describes the number of array elements. In our applied example, we had 5 elements. Then you have your list of elements. In our applied example, this was a list of 5 variables called race, veteran, weight, feet, and inches. Here are a couple warnings about naming arrays. Do not give an array name the same name as a variable in the same data step. Do not give an array name the same name as a SAS function. You cannot use array names in label, format, drop, keep, or length statements. The list of elements must be all character or all numeric. Arrays only exist for the duration of the current data step. The next thing you may notice is that the array only temporarily houses the variable names of interest. It doesn't actually perform the repeated if-then statement that you're interested in. For that, you will need to use an array within a do loop. I will try to illustrate how SAS reads this. An array temporarily groups the list of elements under a single name, the array name. In SAS's mind, the individual parts of an array name are described by the array name with a subscript, where each part corresponds to a variable in the variable list. In fact, you could complete the previous operation using this code. Obviously, there's no point in programming this way. It offers no benefit. However, it is instructive to look at because this is essentially a long way of writing out exactly what the do loop is doing. But your do loop performs this operation using 3 lines of code instead of 5 lines of code. And just imagine if you wanted to perform this operation on 100 variables. All this would potentially require is a small alteration to the same 3 lines of code. If do loops and arrays aren't perfectly clear to you at this point, that's okay. For now, just try to remember at least these 2 things. Do loops repeatedly execute SAS statements, and arrays store lists of SAS variables. As I said before, I encourage you to explore on your own and try to figure out how you can use these techniques to improve your SAS program.